They find her again.
And DeWanna Bonner disappeared like a ghost.
Sophie Cunningham has now been fined 4 times this season.
DeWanna Bonner said, see ya.
Apparently she got fined $1,500 her first week.
Was it not for her saying the refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark?
She left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on.
They fined me, again, $1,500 just for saying the truth. The refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark.
They fined her again.
Apparently she got fined $1,500 her first week.
She left without saying a word. Just vanished. I'm not going to protect narratives.
She left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on.
Sophie Cunningham revealed that she was fined $1,500 during her first week of podcasting, a punishment she hadn't anticipated. She admitted it was triple the amount she thought she'd be hit with, all because she spoke openly about the referees. This moment underscored just how serious the league is about silencing criticism, especially when it involves players like Caitlyn Clark.
And she's back. Apparently she got fined $1,500 her first week on the show, which is triple the amount that she predicted she would get fined for talking about the referees.
Sophie didn't back down, though. Instead, she embraced the risk of speaking her truth. The fine became a turning point, one that showed how far she's willing to go to defend her views. This moment was the first sign that Cunningham would keep exposing what others stay quiet about.
And, you know, she kind of gave it to him a little bit, but I mean, I think they deserved it. But this week she's back and she's talking about a situation that a lot of Indiana Fever fans.
Sophie Cunningham was fined again for her comments about how Dana Bonner left the Indiana Fever. She didn't sugarcoat it, saying Bonner literally quit on her team and didn't even offer a goodbye.
DeWanna Bonner said, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, and the teammates had absolutely no idea what was going on. When we say DeWanna Bonner quit on her team, she literally quit on her team. She didn't say, hey, this isn't working out. She just didn't say anything at all. She didn't say, hey, wish you guys good luck. She just didn't say anything at all.
Her honesty sent waves through the locker room and fan base, exposing a deep issue in team professionalism and communication. This aligns with your title, showing how Sophie's loyalty to her team and Caitlyn Clark is rooted in her belief in accountability. And instead of staying silent, Sophie let the truth come out, even if it meant another fine.
While she was conspiring behind the scenes on how to get out of Indiana, how to take that money and run, she left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on. And Sophie Cunningham is shedding some light onto that entire situation.
During her podcast, Sophie talked about getting fined again, this time simply for mentioning her previous fine. She sarcastically pointed out how ridiculous it was being punished for acknowledging she was already punished. This clearly shows how the WNBA is trying to suppress even basic commentary.
Sophie Cunningham has come out on her podcast today and talked about the fact that they nailed her again. Good God.
We were talking about, like, our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA fined me.
No! You got fined for episode 1?
Dude, they fined me $1,500. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was like, you're kidding.
Oh, way.
Sophie's willingness to keep talking, despite the league's reaction, shows her commitment to players like Caitlyn Clark, who also face unfair treatment. Her message is clear. If you speak up, you'll pay the price, but some things are worth paying for.
I'm glad that you saved that for this and didn't text me, because that's unreal. I mean, it's like, it's cool for the pod, but that's kind of a bummer. Do they, when you get fined, do they put like verbatim, like quote here, like this is why you're being fined and this is why it's this much? Or is it like, hey, quit talking shit on us, Venmo us like $1,500? No.
Sophie's now infamous line, the refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark, is what many believe led to her most recent fine. While that comment was defensive and factual, it stirred controversy at the top of the league. Sophie didn't insult anyone she called for fair play and protection for one of the WNBA's biggest rising stars.
Was talking about, you know, the refs need to protect. I'm pretty sure. Was it not for her saying the refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark? I'm pretty sure it's what she essentially said. The refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark. And like Caitlyn Clark said, you know, finally someone did it. Like she basically talked about being like the refs need to protect the face of the league.
Yet that alone was enough for the WNBA to react aggressively. This proves your title. She's being fined again for standing up for Caitlyn Clark, and it's her comments that say it all.
I'm pretty sure that was it. If it's not, and someone will tell me what it actually was, leave it in the comment section, I'll pin it. So this is what she said. If I was a ref, I know I mess up all the time. I'm not saying your job is easy, but when it's a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Sophie Cunningham openly talked about how the WNBA fined her again simply for discussing the officiating on her podcast. Even though she praised some referees and acknowledged their job as difficult, that didn't stop the league from issuing a second fine.
Sophie Cunningham has come out on her podcast today and talked about the fact that they nailed her again.
This move sparked public backlash, with fans accusing the league of trying to silence honest voices. Sophie's intention wasn't to stir drama, but to express genuine concerns about inconsistency, especially regarding Caitlyn Clark. The message fans heard loud and clear. Honesty now comes with a penalty tag in the WNBA.
I was like, I even credited them that their job was hard. I did say that. And I said that I would not be good at it. I did say that. Like, look at the whole picture. What are we doing? But yeah, so I got fined for that, so.
Sophie's defense of her teammates and Caitlyn Clark has made her a target for fines, but also a symbol for player voice. She didn't have to expose how Dana Bonner ghosted the team and left everyone, even stars like Caitlyn, confused. But she did. And that transparency sparked unity in the locker room.
While she was conspiring behind the scenes on how to get out of Indiana, how to take that money and run, she left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on. And Sophie Cunningham is shedding some light onto that entire situation. Now, if there's any shining light, if there's any positive, is that she did everybody in that locker room dirty.
This can either make us or break us, Sophie revealed, and it clearly brought the team closer. That camaraderie is exactly what fines can't destroy, and Sophie's comments show how she's not just defending Clark, she's defending the culture of respect and honesty.
And everybody said, damn, this can either make us or break us. This can either separate us or bring us closer together. DeWanna Bonner, you sly dog. Quitting on the team, taking the money and running, not even being professional about it. Again, there's no professionalism going on.
Her most recent fine of $1,500 was reportedly for suggesting the league needs to protect Caitlyn Clark, a player often targeted on the court. Sophie said, if I was a ref, I'd mess up too. But when it's a simple call, what are you doing? That line reflected widespread frustration, not just her own.
I think the players across the league, new fans across the country, everyone's like, what's going on with the refs? I'm like, I don't know. And you're fining me. You fining me $500 is not going to do shit. That is actually, no, in fairness, yeah, you know what? I'll fine her for that. Fine her for that. Because just like fining her $500 is not going to do shit, fining her $1,500 is not going to do shit either.
She wasn't asking for special treatment, just consistency, especially for high-profile players like Clark, who carry the league's visibility. Instead of listening, the league fined her again, proving that speaking the truth about player safety and fairness now carries a financial cost.
If I'm not mistaken, like, all she said was talking about, the refs needing to protect. I'm pretty sure. Was it not for her saying the refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark? I'm pretty sure it's what she essentially said. The refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark. And like Caitlyn Clark said, finally someone did it. Like she basically talked about being like the refs need to protect the face of the league. I'm pretty sure that was it. If it's not, and someone will tell me what it actually was, leave it in the comment section, I'll pin it. So imagine fining $1,500. Like, there's no way.
Fan outrage grew when Sophie was fined for her comments, while players who physically targeted Caitlyn Clark faced no consequences. Social media erupted with comparisons. Sophie gets fined for words, but they don't fine the ones who elbow Clark?
For F's sakes, the WNBA fined Sophie for her referee podcast comments, but let motherfuckers beat the shit out of Caitlyn Clark the last 2 seasons. No fines there. All right, then. I mean, seriously. That's crazy. You don't have to suppress speech when you're calling the game consistently. Guilty dogs yelp first.
The double standard wasn't just noticed, it was exposed. Many now believe the league is prioritizing image control over actual justice. Sophie's words and the league's reaction ignited the conversation, placing her at the center of a growing player movement demanding fairness and accountability.
This league is atrocious. Sophie is hilarious and so crazy honest. Sophie, please start a GoFundMe. People are literally ready to just send Sophie some money to cover her fines at this point. The WNBA hates any chance of accountability. Accountability? You don't have to suppress speech when you're calling the game consistently. Guilty dogs yelp first.
Even with Caitlyn Clark temporarily sidelined, Sophie Cunningham has kept the spotlight on the team's integrity and struggle. One content creator noted that Sophie alone is providing enough material to keep the narrative alive and the fans engaged.
Shout out Sophie Cunningham, because with Caitlyn Clark injured, Sophie Cunningham has said and done stuff. As Sophie Cunningham is enough content for this channel and, you know, keeping the bills paid while Caitlyn Clark is injured.
Her willingness to take hits from the league has turned her into an unexpected pillar of truth, especially when most players stay quiet. Supporting Caitlyn Clark isn't just something she does on the court. She does it in interviews, on podcasts, and even with her own paycheck on the line.
And she got fined for comments on a podcast episode about referees, and it wasn't even like it was that bad. It wasn't even nothing she said was that bad. Like, she got fined $500 for a TikTok. Now she's after getting fined again. Let's listen to the podcast clip.
We were talking about like our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA fined me for dogs.
When Sophie spoke about Dana Bonner's silent departure, she wasn't just airing grievances. She was highlighting a lack of leadership and communication that damages locker room trust. She explained how the team had to pick up the emotional and strategic pieces in Bonner's absence. And while Sophie could have remained neutral, she didn't.
All the attention on this team, we're expected to cover up your story. I think they did her a solid, honestly. They could have came out and be like, I don't know where she's at. They could have like started slinging her under the bus, but they didn't do that. But I think that's something the players of the Fever should be commended for.
Her decision to speak out shows how deeply she values team unity, especially for players like Caitlyn Clark, who are still early in their careers and rely on veterans to shape the culture. Her message, respect your teammates or get called out.
And it's family, I guess, but like you gotta get, I mean, sometimes if you're doing things that inconvenience other people, but they're better for you, you have to do it, but let someone know.
I think there's
sorry, say what you're doing.
Yes, I think I'm right there with you. I think I'm still rooting for her. Like, I want her to end her career and be happy, but I also think that like it's okay to be professional about it and like send a text to your teammates. Send a text and be like, hey, like, love you guys, or you don't even have to say love you guys. Just like, hey, sorry this didn't work out. Good luck. Da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to handle that, I think.
Sophie called for something simple, professional courtesy. She wasn't asking for drama or drama-based headlines. She just wished Dana Bonner would have said goodbye, sent a message, something. Even a good luck this didn't work out would have been enough, Sophie said.
Send a text to your teammates. Send a text and be like, hey, like, love you guys, or you don't even have to say love you guys. Just like, hey, sorry this didn't work out. Good luck. Da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to handle that, I think.
In the ultra-connected WNBA world, where teammates become family and reputations travel fast, Sophie's comments remind us that how you leave a team matters. And by voicing that truth, especially for Caitlyn and the younger Fever roster, Sophie set a new standard for what being a real teammate looks like.
Yeah, she said, you don't even have to tell us you love us or anything, because we know that love is probably fake. But it's like, just tell us good luck. I'm out of here. Don't leave us in the dark. Like, maybe this is, she's alluding to some kind of established thing, unwritten thing for players, when they leave teams, because let's keep it a buck. In the WNBA, there's a lot of player transactions. These players are very familiar with each other.
Sophie Cunningham's podcast sparked more than just headlines. It triggered a petition demanding changes to WNBA officiating. With hundreds of signatures in just minutes, fans united behind her, seeing her as someone who dared to say what everyone was thinking.
It's got 290 signatures on it. People have been signing up. They're signing up right now. 15 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago, 26 minutes. That's really good. There's a petition over the WNBA officiating, how bad it is, over Sophie Cunningham getting FINED. That is great.
The league's decision to fine her backfired, amplifying her message instead of silencing it. Sophie unintentionally lit the match that galvanized public frustration with the league's lack of transparency and player protection. She became the unfiltered voice for athletes like Caitlyn Clark, whose struggles were often brushed aside.
They get more negative light shined on them because the enforcer of the Indiana Fever is talking about her getting fined. And by the way, the root of the problem is the officiating is dog shit. If you had referees that were actually doing their jobs, getting calls correct, and by the way, keeping some kind of law and order in the league, you wouldn't have a player that's having to go on their podcast talking about,
I'm not going to follow agendas. I'm going to tell you how it all went down. They fined me $1,500 for talking about the refs. The refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark.
I'm going to tell you how it all went down.
Apparently, she got fined $1,500 her first week.
Was it not for her saying the refs need to protect Caitlyn Clark?
F this league, unbelievable. Please sign a petition to change WNBA officiating.
Please sign a petition to change WNBA officiating. Like, share, and subscribe before they fine you for it, too.